The world's greatest living artist. I'm here. I'm just kicking it here. Hope everybody's doing great. I got some work here that I need to do, and so let's get this going. Let's get this party started. Coming out, so you better get this party started. Better get this party started and stuff. Better get this party started. Coming out, so you better get this party started. Get this party started. What's up? What up? Skate Chibo. What's up? What's up on me? Man, I've been doing all kinds of other stuff, and I need to get back to painting because it's time. So let's do this. Let's do this. Hope you guys can see this beautiful painting. This beautiful little painting. Can you see it? I mean, can you really see it? There we go. What's up? What's happening? What's happening, my friends? Let's do this. Man, being an artist is a hell of a job. So I was sending out some work to some people that want to do some deals with me with some artwork, and so that took like 2 days to set. It's probably why you haven't seen me that much. It took some time to make it happen, get it going and making it happen. But ultimately, it got done. So that's what I'm proud that it got done. Hey, it could happen. Let's do this landscape. What's the one thing you hate painting? I don't know. I don't really have one thing. I hate painting things that I've done already. I guess I like painting new stuff that I haven't done. So I guess if I could hate something, I'm not really much of a hater, but I get you. I don't like doing work that I've already done, and so this is why I try to change it up all the time. It's not my cup of tea to be doing the same thing over and over. Although I have to many times, because you run out of ideas, you run out of, creativity. You never really run out of it, but it feels that way. For maybe a couple of hours. It could even be a couple of days. And so, yeah, I guess that would be it. Look at that. Coming out, so you better get the party started. Get the party started and stuff. Do you ever start your lighting process with a bright color? No, I don't really see the benefit of it. I like using black. I'm kind of used to it, and it just feels right. It just feels right when I'm using black. There's something about just having that very bold line. It's very, very bold. I have done it before, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy doing the line work with like red or some other color. Not really. I'll tint the canvas though. I'll play around and kind of like do a little underpainting and tint the canvas. I'll do that. You'll see me do some of that stuff every now and then. Because I'm coming out, so you better get the party started. Yeah, get the party started. Oil painting is very time consuming. It's one of the reasons I I avoid it. It's very time consuming. Uh, drawing, uh, drawing, watercolors, and other stuff. It's not as time consuming as oil. Oil is like, fuck, man. Oil is it's just time consuming. It just is. Dream Big Art says, what are you going to do today? All kinds of stuff, but we're gonna start out with this painting. It's just gonna be a little nice landscape. Does the black mixing into your paintbrush ever bother you? Never. I don't get bothered by such things. I get bothered if I'm not working. That bothers me. Like if I'm not working, if I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I get bothered by that. But like the actual painting and it doesn't bother me. I don't really have much that it bothers me here. All those things, all those questions, they're really good questions, my friends. However, those concerns, not the questions, but the concerns, for the most part, come out of not doing it enough. When you do it enough, you find out that all those concerns kind of go away. When you do enough work, whatever that means for you, right? It might be an hour a day, or it might be 10 hours a day, if you're crazy like me. Those concerns kind of go away. They just do. They go away. And the reason why those concerns go away is because the more you paint, the more creative you become. And so you innately start mixing things up and doing things in a way that just starts making more sense. And then when you finish painting, you don't keep that momentum. You don't really carry it to the next day. That momentum was there for that day, and then the next day you kind of have to start all over again and catch the wave. I feel like it's like surfing. I don't know anything about surfing, but from what I heard about surfing, every day you have to go fish for a new wave. You know, it's never the same. But if you stay there long enough, you'll catch some good waves, type of deal. That's kind of how painting is. If you stay there long enough, if you stay there a few hours, or if you do it long enough, a few days in a row, you start catching certain waves, and your painting starts getting a certain voice and almost maturity. It reaches maturity, but when you stop, which everybody does, whether you stop for a day, or you stop for a week, or you simply move on to something else, that wave goes away. You can't catch it anymore. That wave is gone. And so what a lot of artists go through is, oh man, I was doing so well last week. Yeah, dude, last week, not today. Today you have to start from scratch, and you have to go catch another wave. And what I mean by waves, I'm talking about waves of creativity, you know, and looseness, and how you feel when you're painting. How does it feel? All that stuff, those are all like little waves, if that makes any sense. CAGATHOC, I don't know how to pronounce it. Says so true. Very cool. Skate Chivo says, I feel it's different when you use little paint. If you brush, I've noticed you use a lot of paint, so they overlap. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Gox Semin says, Hola, Semin. Hola, paints are so fluid. Which medium do you use? I use walnut oil. I like to use some walnut oil. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow. Walnut oil is what I use. So yeah, whatever I paint today, I can't carry it over to the next day, and that's always a yeah. If an artist doesn't know how to recognize that, you're kind of always fighting what you're doing. and hence the book, The War in Art, or The Art of War. No, The War in Art. The Art of War is by Sun Tzu. The War on Art, I think, by Stephen Pressfield. In his book, he talks about the resistance, for those of you who haven't read it. And the cat says that every day you have to go and fight this resistance. Well, what I've, in order to conquer it, what I've come to understand, it's not so much that it's a resistance, okay? But I don't want to discredit the cat because he knows what he's talking about. But what I've understood in my personal life is that when you paint, you're sort of like cooking something, you know, and it takes a long time before you actually start cooking some good stuff. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do the bad stuff either. It takes some time before you start cooking the good ones. It might take a couple of hours. It might take you a couple of weeks. And just because when you start getting to the good stuff, and just because you got to the good stuff, it doesn't guarantee the next day you're gonna have the good stuff again. You're gonna have to keep cooking it. And so what I've noticed is that artists get like, oh my God, I was doing so well yesterday or last week. Why is it not working today? I don't feel inspired. It's because our art doesn't work that way. Art works this way. Look, I'm gonna show you. Okay, I'm gonna show you how art works. You do a painting, shitty. You do another painting, shitty. You do another painting, a little bit better. You do a really shitty one, and then you do another one that's like, and then you do a good one, and then you do shitty paintings, and then boom, you do a really good one, and or very creative or very different or whatever, something that sparks your imagination. And most artists don't get that in order to get to the good ones, you that's why Andy Warhol said, don't judge your paintings, let the buyer judge them. Just do your work. You don't get to judge your paintings because it's very difficult to get to the good ones in your mind, what you consider the good ones. It's very, 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 very difficult because it requires you, and it requires you to spend lots of time into it because you're cooking it. And so I hope this makes any sense for any serious artists out there. I'm sure most people that are looking are like super into the arts, and I hope you get to take away some of this crazy stuff that I'm talking about here, because this literally changed my career. Understanding that most paintings are not your best paintings. Most paintings, in fact, are probably your worst paintings. And it's okay. It's okay. You only get to a couple of good ones every now and then. And when you get to sell them, the funny thing is that what you consider your good ones probably don't sell. And so painting is interesting that way. Painting is very interesting that way. So what's left then? If you don't know which ones are your best or which ones are your worst, you know what's left? That you do the best work that you possibly can every day. That's the only thing you can control. I cannot control if I'm going to come up with something really great. There is no way. I tried to. I spent my entire freaking career trying to come up with good stuff every single day. I cannot do it. I told my wife, I've been telling my wife, man, being an artist is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's just so damn difficult because you want to control good outflow of work and you cannot control it, but you can control something. You can control doing your best every single day, and that every now and then starts popping up really good paintings. That's what I got to say about that. How about them apples? Boom. That, man, I deserve an Oscar for this. Mic drop. Let's see. Do you use limited palette? No, I try to make it a little bit more than a limited palette. Usually limited palettes are about three colors, 4 colors at most. I have 6 colors, 7 colors, including black. Yeah. And white, 8. But I guess white is not a color, so we don't include it in there. What is the best to get over a breakup? My girl left me a week ago. Oh, dude, I that is definitely not my best. I haven't been in a breakup since, like, I don't know, the early odds. I've been married for a while, so that would not be me. All I can tell you is love thyself. Love thyself. That's all I can tell you. Hey, get that book by Marisa Peer. You might like that one. I Am Enough. That's a good book. Let's see. Why is oil painting time consuming? Is it because of prep time? No, oil painting is very consuming because because it's layered. It's more multi-dimensional. It's very layered. Like, for example, if I wanted to do a drawing, it's one-dimensional, right? It's line work, unless you're doing shading and whatnot. But if you're just doing a drawing, it's one-dimensional. If you're doing watercolors, it can be dynamic, but it's not as layered as this. This is very layered. So there's a lot of donkey work. It's a lot of this. Chanel says, every time I have a rut or I don't like my paintings I push through, then something marvelous comes. Not to mention, sometimes people buy or like my not so favorite ones. Most people buy my not so favorite ones. I can totally agree with that one. I like those apples. Thank you so much, Alicia. Chanel says, I told my mom I must have bad taste because my favorite ones don't sell. Yeah, every artist has bad taste. As a matter of fact, here's a little thing I say every now and then. I sometimes artists can't take this and they get upset with me, but I'm gonna say it because I get to say whatever I want. Being a career artist is for bad artists. Okay? Now I'm going to repeat that again for those of you who didn't hear it the first time. Here it goes. Being a career artist is for bad artists. What I mean by this is very good artists can't really make a career out of it. It's very difficult for very, very good artists to make a career. For example, I'm a shitty painter. I'm a shitty artist. That's why I can make a career out of it. Does this make any sense? If you're very good, you're going to have, not always, but I would say 90% of the time, you're going to have a very hard time producing artwork. Great artists have a very hard time producing artwork. They just can't. They can't. They're too perfectionist. Too much of perfectionism going on. And so in order to make a career as an artist, you must absolutely be willing to create shitty art. If you cannot create shitty art, it's going to be very difficult to make a career. Because it requires you to create so much. It requires you to be there all the time. Someone says, I totally get it. I'm telling you. The more precious you are with your artwork, the more, oh my God, it's not coming out the way I want it to, and this and that. The more precious you become with it, the less likely the opportunity. There's not going to be enough opportunity to make a career out of it. Because you need to go beyond what you like and what you don't like. And you just need to do great work. If that makes any sense. I'm not saying great paintings. You have almost no artist has control over great paintings. But you have control over great work. Great work means that you put in the time and you put in the work in there. And you cannot control everything. See, many times, one of the things that stops me from time to time, and it stops me, it used to stop me for months when I was younger. As I became a full-time artist, it only stops me for a day or two. Okay? It only stops me for about a day or two. And then now even less is, oh my God, I don't know what to paint. I just have no idea what to paint. I don't have any ideas, and on and on. I know what the cure is. It's not like I don't know what I mean, I preach this stuff. I teach this stuff. I don't just preach it, I teach it. It's not like I don't know what the cure is. It's that I have those weak days where I'm like, man, I don't have any ideas. I don't know what to paint. I'm afraid of painting just anything because just anything doesn't cut it for me. I have to come up with some really great ideas, some really great themes for my artwork, and that is the kiss of death. Once I start feeling that way, I already know, oh, okay, Jose, you're turning sideways now. You're going off. You're going somewhere else now. You're not paying attention. Because the cure to making great art is to make lots of bad art. And bad art doesn't mean that you make sloppy or careless art. No, it means that you put all of your energy into making your artwork, but you don't know if it's good or bad, if that makes any sense. And so it's better for me to not know what to paint, but paint something. It doesn't matter. Paint anything, and then go from there, and then let that open up and create the vehicle to new ideas and new opportunities, as opposed to I'm only going to paint something once I'm completely sure of what I'm going to paint. I have the drawing, the theme is really great. Oh my God, I thought of this landscape that I'm going to do, and it's going to have this and it's going to have that. That is a very difficult thing to control. And if you're trying to control that, I'm willing to bet you're not producing enough artwork. And if you're not producing enough artwork, it's very difficult to make a career out of it. You have to produce artwork. It's the only way. Man, let me read some of the comments because I went bananas on this. I got on a soapbox. Let's see. You have to lower your standards a little so you can make more. It's not really about lowering your standards. It does feel that way. No, what you need to do is turn off your mind. It's not standards. You sacrifice your overthinking. So you have to. You never lower your standards when it comes to work. What you do is that you overthink, and then you think, oh my God, I cannot create unless I'm creating some really good stuff. And so what you need to do is create anything and quiet the mind so that you're able to really start creating work. You have quantity over quality. No, that's a misconception. It's not quantity over quality either. It's just what I said. No, I'm going to have quality. I'm just not going to mind F myself thinking that I have this quality that I can't conceive. See, what happens with many artists is that they're looking for this type of quality that they can't grab. And so they go bananas looking for this utopian quality. And so I move that out of the way and I say, you know what, I'm just going to do quality day by day. I just don't know if it's this utopian thing or not. This highly, I don't know, avant-garde or super well painted. No. Out of the way. That moves out of the way. So this is why I say, if you're a really great painter, you probably have a hard time producing artwork. Let's see. Chanel says we're crazy. Totally. You're just finding that out, Chanel. I was like that last week, really bad. Gorgeous painting. Thank you so much. Which colors are you using? I am using phthalo blue, Viridian, yellow pale hue, cad red, purple, dioxin purple, and magenta. Bam. Yeah, this is the thing. We can never control the magic, right? We're looking for the magic. Excellent soapbox speech. Thank you so much. I'm trying. Chanel says, when you think too much, then you freeze. That's what happens. That's what happened to me last week. Yeah, analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is the kiss of death of everyone who's trying to do anything. It's all mindset, absolutely. Smoking some weed helps me to listen to that voice you talk about. Oh, nice. You got to do what you got to do. Which brand of oil paints? The brand is Winton by Winsor & Newton. All right, let's get to it. Hey, it helps. Everyone works on it differently. This is a judgment-free zone. Everyone works on it differently. Some people, go for a walk. Some people have to smoke up, smoke it up. Some people have to. Some people pray on it, man. I had some people tell me, dude, I pray on it. Dude, that's awesome. If you have to pray on it, you got to go on your knees and you have to kneel and do the whole thing. Do the whole thing. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, does it work for you? Is it good? Is it good for you? Does it work? And boom, make it happen. Make that happen. But yeah, my friends, there is just no way you can control good art. There's just no way. I know that. I know that for a fact. You cannot control good art. You can only control good output. Okay, so next time you're thinking, oh my God, what do I paint? Just don't. Or sometimes you do that. Sometimes you do have to do that, but do it for a little. If you feel like you're doing it too much, just go paint anything. Start painting something. Have you tried 1980 paint? I love it. I love their bright colors. The 1980 paint has some really nice. I think they have a whole pastel color collection. I really like it. Do I ever drink wine and paint? I hardly ever have any wine or drink. I really don't. I have coffee. Thank you so much, Victoria. Yeah, coffee and sleep and boom, babe. Yeah, the whole thing just comes together. Are you painting from memory or photo? That's a great question. I always get asked this. I tend to do a combination of things. I put together a bunch of what do they call them? Reference images, and a lot of the work that I do comes from a mix of my own drawings, because most of the work when I started, I felt like I had to orchestrate it. In other words, I had to put it together and make it work, right? Make a flow out of it. And so I spent a lot of time studying composition and that type of deal. I spent years on it. I spent a good maybe 6-7 years just practicing composition every single day. Balance, structure, visual weight, all those things. And so I did a lot of sketches. I did a lot of drawing, a lot of sketches. And I kept a lot of images that I loved, and then I mixed and matched. And I mean, it's really been a journey. One of the things that I say often when I get a chance about this topic is that I spent a good chunk of my day curating images. Just curating. That's kind of what I do. I look at something and I'm like, oh, I wonder how that would look like as a painting. And then just kind of curating, drafting something, looking at a magazine, and then look at a landscape and say, oh, how can I turn this into this other thing, and just curating ideas. I spent a good portion of my day doing that. Just looking at stuff and paying attention to it and kind of mix and matching. Yeah, I mean, I think so, Chanel. I think I got to a point where what I do became more intuitive than anything else. But I think it came out of the practice. I think there was enough practice in there where it started flowing very intuitive. But at first, it felt like I was like robotic about it. I was like, I'm going to make a painting, and everything was very structured, very robotic. And I start flowing more and more. And I mean, I've been doing this full time for 10 years, and it flows more every time. I can't wait till, I don't know, maybe when I turn 60, 70 years old, how it's going to look. I might end up making it look like Pablo Picasso. Who knows? Although some of my works on paper are a bit Picasso-esque, so maybe there. I'm gonna make another painting for those of you who want to kick it with me. Kick it. Want to hang out and want to see what I'm about. All right, let's do uno más. So I started uploading artwork in Fine Art America, like, I don't know, like years ago, but I never stuck with it. I just uploaded like 40 images and I never stuck with it. I found some other things that occupied my attention, but now I'm back and I started uploading some stuff, and I really like what they do. Like, they make all this like fun stuff, like tote bags and all kinds of stuff. I thought it was interesting. I forgot about that whole thing. And so I started uploading some images, and I shared some on my Facebook page. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, I'm a little excited about that. the simple things in life that make me happy. It's the simple stuff. Yeah, but anyone out there painting, and if you're worried about what to paint or anything like that, you're probably having some analysis paralysis. I'd be willing to bet. All bets are off, but I'd be willing to bet you're having some real analysis paralysis. Absolutely. I went to do some mugs. I'm looking for a company. Fall is around the corner. Yeah. I mean, there's like a bajillion of them, right? There's a Sazzle, Cafe Press. I don't know. There's like a bajillion of them. I've used a lot of them before, but when I was a gallery artist. Before I started selling online, I went and I started using, a bunch of them, and so I kind of just dropped the whole thing and I went to direct sales of original work. But due to COVID, thank you COVID, but no thanks. I went online and I started also looking at all those other options. My brain just went like 1,000 an hour, and I started looking for all these things, and it's time consuming, right? So I'm glad that I have someone helping me. I have an assistant who helps me with that, uploading artwork online. But I remember when I was doing it myself, and I still do it, right? I still do it myself. So don't think that if you don't have someone to help you, you can't do it. That's not true. I'm just doing more of it, right? I'm doing multiple websites at a time, but I'm still doing it. 1, 2 in the morning, I'm uploading stuff. It's me. Yeah, it's very consuming. How's it going, Manny? Good to see you, my friend. Fernando Manny. Alicia says, I made a little nice monsters with my great nephews today. Nice. I love that. Yeah, it's time consuming. It definitely is. There is it's not the time that I worry about with stuff. When it comes to your art career, it's not really time that I worry about. It's attention. When you're going after something, whatever you're going after requires a lot of attention. It doesn't matter if you're going to go build a website or upload artwork on an online platform, or you're going to start TikTok, or you're going to go start a YouTube channel, it's not the time so much, it's the attention. When something grabs your attention, this happens to most people, not everybody, but most, I would say 99% of people. When something grabs your attention, it's kind of hard to let it go for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And so that could mess up your production in other areas very fast. And I mean, that's the quintessential challenge of anyone who's in business. That is the challenge. It's, do I focus on this or do I focus on that? Because that has my attention over here and I can't let it go, and I know it's important, and you know, it's your focus. All of a sudden it's not so much the time that you spend on it, is that you go to do your artwork but you're still thinking about Fine Art America. You know, it's like a momentum thing. And so that's what I mean. It's like you're having dinner and you're still thinking about Fine Art America. That happens to me. So I'm an expert on on having my attention taken away. I'm an expert at that. And so that's just something that happens. And then it messes with your attitude and all kinds of stuff. So it's very important, I think, to be very grounded and understand that those things do happen, and it's okay when they do happen. You can just always redirect your attention. You can always redirect it and go back to what you were doing. But if you want, I'm going to tell you guys this: if you want to make leaps in your career, if you want to take it from here to there, you're going to have to sacrifice some of the stuff that you're doing for short periods of time, and then make the leap. Other than that, even if you have employees, even if you have people helping you, there is that sacrifice. Otherwise, you can't make the leap. For example, one of the things that is taking my attention right now, one of the other things that is taking my attention is my monthly subscription. I'm teaching. I'm doing workshops. I'm recording workshops. You know, I'm staying here till, I don't know, 1 a.m, midnight, whatever, in my studio recording workshops. And so that takes my attention, and many times I'm painting or I'm doing something else, and that's in the back of my mind. That's running. Did I say the right thing? Is this going to help them? Was the lighting right? Oh, I need to edit that video, and on and on. You know, it's in the back of my mind. So it's not so much the time that takes me to do. A workshop only takes me a couple of hours to do. But it can take up to 2 weeks of attention, a single workshop. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. It's very important, guys. It might only take me 2 hours to do, but it can rob me of my attention for about 2 weeks. That is the quintessential challenge of everyone who's in business. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Manny. We're doing great. Hope you and your family are doing amazing as well. Chanel says, yep, I went to sleep thinking of mugs and woke up thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. And then before you know it, you start getting your mind wrapped around that only, to the point where it stops everything else, or it slows it down. You know, and so now your attention is off. And the thing is that we feel bad about it, and many of us, I don't know if you do, Chanel, but I feel very bad about it sometimes. And so what I've learned to do is to course correct, but understand that those things are necessary. Those things are very necessary for your attention to go elsewhere. At some times, it's very important for your business or your career. It's extremely, because otherwise you're gonna spend all your time just focusing on the same challenges you got. You know, oh my God, I gotta get up and I gotta paint. Well, yeah, but you also it'd be nice if you have a licensing deal, or it'd be nice also if if you set up a website where you're selling the coffee mugs, that'd be nice too. You know, it'd be nice to have some other forms of revenue, or some other opportunities that don't depend on you necessarily painting, you know, that depend more on you setting up a shop and running some ads to it, or, you know, it's also nice to have that. It's also very good, you know. Had I not spent the amount of energy on my classes, on my workshops that I'm teaching, I would miss out from all the opportunity to have this conversation with artists. I would miss out on that really bad, and I hate missing out on stuff. It makes me sad. Haka says, AKA Paradox. I love that. Can you consider showing us the work you do on the color palette using separate camera? No, but this is a live. There's no way I can use a separate camera right now because it's a live. I am working on that on my classes, because I'm using a single camera on my classes, although I show everything. But I am working on using 2 cameras on my classes. I've been I guess practicing with both cameras. But I can't do it on a live. I don't think it's possible unless, I don't know, 2 accounts, 2 cell phones. Yeah, mind break, absolutely. It's my son over there having some fun. So I hope that this is making any sense, and I'm able to shine a little bit of light here. I like these conversations. I think that they touch on very important things regarding being an artist. I think so. Here, let's do a little palette knife work down here. I think this will be nice. Check it out, check it out. Yeah, the only thing we can really control, my friends, is to do professional work. I don't know if it's the best. I don't know if it's well thought. I don't know if it's well thought of or well calculated, or if the paintings are super original. I don't know that, but I can control me showing up every day and doing my best. I know I can control that. That's the only thing I can control. Did I do my best? Awesome. If I did, then that's awesome. More and more I'm understanding that artists, the whole game of being an artist is mindset. The whole game is just mindset. And mindset changes from time to time. You know, if you had I don't know, if you went at it with your spouse, you had an argument or whatever, that'll mess up your mindset for a while. You know, that'll mess up your outflow, the way that you paint, what you're thinking about. If you are having an emotional thing going on, you're watching the news or something, that'll also tend to mess up your mindset, you know. And so do you not have arguments with your spouse or with your children? Do you not watch the news? No, that's not what I'm suggesting. I think that's impossible to do. I don't think that's even important or necessary. I think it's just important to understand that those things happen, and cut yourself some slack when it happens. You know, give yourself a little mental break. It's okay. Sometimes it happens, and it's not the end of the world. And just recognize that it happens. Hey, this is not me. This is just my emotions getting the best of me. You know, maybe you feel like you haven't been very productive lately. It's okay. You know, it's okay. It happens. Not everybody's going to work the same way, nor should they. Some people see that I show up here every day and whatnot. Guys, there's days that I just feel like shit. Like I don't want to do anything. I'm pissed at half of the world. I'm tired. I am emotionally, you know, I don't know, depleted from my energy. And I show up and I'm trying to paint and I'm like, fuck this. I'm just not, I don't even have the energy to be here. And I'll walk away and do something else. But it used to make me very upset when I used to do that. It used to make me feel like I didn't have strong character. I didn't have good work ethic and whatnot. And what I started understanding over the years, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, full time. And I started understanding that no, there is very productive days and there's some days that are not so productive. And there's some days that you just can't show up at all. You know, there's just days like that. And that's fine. It's okay. You know, as long as you just keep moving forward, it doesn't matter how it is. But I think what's more important is to recognize that those things happen and don't make them drag too long because it's unnecessary. Just recognize that those things happen. Hey, you know what? It's part of the deal. Some days I feel super jacked up and enthusiastic about painting, and some days, man, I hear Jose Trujillo's voice and I want to puke. So some days are just like that. You know, I can't even tune in and watch this cat talk about art because it pisses me off. You know, so thank you so much. Thank you, Manny. Just ran out of titanium white. Cheryl says, wow, that's how I felt last week. It's nice to hear someone else talk about it. Yeah, I mean, we're only human, guys. You know, we're not going to show up and be like all the time. No. It's just not possible. And I don't even think it's healthy. But the only reason I look like some people are like, how do you do it? You're always there. You're always showing up. It's not that I'm always showing up. It's just that I show up more than the average artist. That's my superpower. I mean, God knows that's my only superpower. I just show up more than the average artist. I've learned how to control that a little bit more, you know, to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna show up. I don't feel like it. Okay, it doesn't matter. Unless I really don't feel like it, then I'm like, you know what? I'm at the point where I'm pissed. I don't even have it in me to hold a brush. And that's okay. It's all right. The important thing also is to recognize that you have track record with yourself. Hey, have you been showing up this past month? Have you been showing? Did you show up last month? Did you show up last year? Cool. Okay, you have track record. So it's not going anywhere. You're gonna let it pass. Let the anger, let the stress pass, and then show up again. Sometimes we don't even have the mental, not just the mental attitude, but the understanding of why we really need to show up. Once the anger goes away or that feeling goes away, then you recognize again, you're like, oh my God, it's important for me to show up because A, B, and C. The vibrations. That's awesome. So that's kind of how I tackle this whole thing. I try not to be so hard on myself. I'm hard on my work ethic. I show up even if I'm tired or whatever, but there's days that I just don't, and those days that I don't, I'm not hard on myself because I have a track record, you know. I don't feel bad. And if you don't have a track record and you feel bad, I'm going to tell you, don't feel bad because you haven't developed the muscle to show up every day. It's a muscle, guys. It used to be so hard for me to show up every day. It was so hard for me to paint one little painting a day. One little painting a day. I remember it used to feel like horrible. Like, oh my God, like how did Picasso, I read that Picasso did 5 large paintings a day. I was like, how did he do it? Some people say that it's because it was abstract and whatnot and it was easy. No, it wasn't. Picasso, before Picasso became very famous, Picasso's an old world painter, guys. Picasso used to paint with a lot of brushstrokes. He wasn't much of a minimalist. He put a lot of work into his paintings, and he used to do 5 very large paintings in a single day. That means that he probably worked about 10-12 hours at least on those paintings. Emilia says we can grind for days but need to rest in order to hit it hard the next consecutive days. Absolutely. Yeah, just don't you don't need to be hard on yourself. You don't need to, because it makes it worse. It gets you to think that you're just not good enough. And that's not true. That's just your mind, making a we make victims of ourselves. It's just victim mentality that we create. I know that I do that to myself quite often, and the difference now is that I learned how to get out of it fast, where before I used to stay there in that victim mentality and just kind of be upset, be sad, be angry, whatever, just kind of dwell on that victim mentality. I don't do that anymore. I slip out of it. As soon as I start feeling that victim mentality, boom, I slip out of it. I run the opposite direction. Yeah, you got to learn to love the process. Absolutely. I'm going to do another one. The process is the most difficult part. Because it's like I said, that is very, very, very wise. The sassy kiwi. Those are very wise words. The process is the most difficult part because the process is basically like this. You do good painting, you do bad painting, bad, or whatever you want to call it. No, it doesn't have to be bad, but let's say it's not your optimal. And then bad, good one. Bad, bad, good one, bad, and it goes like this. It's an even flow, but you don't get to these good ones without all of the other ones. And that's the process. The process is very painful. It can be. It's not painful, but it can be very painful. The process can be very difficult because you shoot a good painting. You shoot a good painting every now and then, and that makes it feel like, oh my God, like this is so difficult. Some of my best works from emotion, absolutely. Hey, take care. And that's basically what it is. It's the process is a numbers game. Ultimately, it's a numbers game, and you don't get to those numbers. You don't get to the really good ones without hitting some of the bad ones. And then every now and then you hit it out of the park. Every now and then you make some stuff that it's like, oh my God, if I just did this every day, and it doesn't work like that either. Every now and then you get super, something happens where you break through and all of a sudden you're creating some really cool stuff. But it happens for a little while. You break through in some sort of some creativity, but it only happens for a little while. And then that runs its course, and then you have to go back to bad, good, bad, and then, you know, and then you start hitting those good ones every now and then, and that's when you start marching. That's absolutely right, Manny. The more you paint, that's all you're really looking for. You've hit the nail on the head, Manny. That's all you're looking for. That's exactly my approach. Is that exactly? All I'm trying to do is make sure that percentage goes higher, and that percentage of good ones. How do I make it go higher? Well, it's not going to be by thinking about them. Although sometimes you do need to think about them, right? Sometimes you do. But ultimately, that is not how it goes higher. Ultimately, how it goes higher is that you paint more. You do more artwork. And as you're doing more artwork, you start hitting those really nice numbers. Where in a week you did, 5, 6 really nice paintings. I mean, that's the way I do it. I've been doing this, like I said, for over 10 years, and that's exactly how I do it. What's up, Rich Dog? You paint your dreams? Nice. And so that's the approach of painting, my friends. That is it. And so what's our job? Our job is just to show up and do your best, and make sure that you show up so that percentage goes up higher. The more you show up, the more chances you have of making a good painting. And the funny thing about making a good painting is that you don't know what a good painting is. No one does. But something that satisfies you, right? A painting that starts to satisfy you. No one does, because your buyer may be in love with something that you completely hate, or that you're just not satisfied with. And so no one knows what the good painting is. Nobody does, except the person who falls in love with it. And so this is why I say that the career of an artist is for bad painters. It's not for good painters. Good painters have a very hard time making a career out of their artwork. There's too much perfectionism. They're not willing to go through the bad ones. See, if you're a bad painter, you don't even know that you're going through bad ones. If you're a really bad painter, like myself, you have no idea which ones are bad or which ones are good. But if you're a very good painter, you have a lot of criteria and self-criticism because of it. And so you're very hard on yourself, and then you stop producing. This is one of the reasons why 9 out of 10 artists that I see out there actually making a name for themselves, thriving in a career in art, are not the best painters, but they're the best artists because they show up. They're not the best painters. Most of them are lousy painters. Most of them, their artwork is just not that good. Their skill level. But because they produce so much, they start producing some really great pieces, and so they outproduce. Their number of good ones outproduce the really good painters. You could be a phenomenal painter, but only have 10 really nice paintings. And you could be a bad painter, but I don't know, produce 1,000, and out of those 1,000, you have 100 really nice ones. You have 10 times more than the other artists just because you produce more. So I'll leave you guys with that. This video is about to end. My name is Jose Trujillo. If you want to find out more about my art classes and workshops, DM me. I'll send you the link to that. Peace out.